How did you get the idea?
So the idea came to me. I was working on something else. I was actually trying to export a U.S. product to Italy on and off for about 3 years with a buddy of mine, and I just we just couldn't get it off the ground. There was too much competition and whatever, and so I just stopped. One day was doing that. It was off and on for 3 years. It was not a full time thing by any stretch, but then one day I decided that was it. I told my buddy, I said, "That's it. We're done." And then I went looking for different ideas, and I went on a broker site where they buy and sell small businesses, anything from, say, a nail salon, corner store, to online businesses. And so I focused on online businesses. I was looking for something I could start by myself, so not having to worry about anybody else. And so I came across a business that was interesting to me, and it was actually a woman's skincare kind of delivery, and it was every 2 months. And for some reason, I found it interesting, and I contacted the broker, and he sent me all the like a presentation on the business and the model, and the financials, balance sheet, or it was cash flow, not balance sheet. It was more profit loss, cash flow for maybe like 24 months or something, and I studied it. And the problem is that I don't know anything about women's skincare. So I said, hey, that's is really interesting, but it's just not my area. And so basically, then I essentially was trying to think about ideas that I could lay on something that I knew and understood and knew well, that I could lay on top of this business model. And so that's how I came up with this. And so now, I mean, what do I know about? I've lived in Italy for 5 years of my life. My dad's side of the family's from there. I speak the language, and so Italian appetizers and sweets really. It's evolved a little bit, but basically stayed true to that. So I've laid it on top, and now I do. We send it out every month, not every 2 months, like the skincare thing. But that's how it came about.
Interesting. It sounds like you've had quite a journey to get to where you're at.
Mm-hmm. No, it was interesting, and I originally was looking for a business, that I could sort of take, maybe say it was, in critical condition, and maybe, turn it around, which is what I'm good at. And that's what I was originally looking for on the broker sites. But then basically I looked around and saw a few people that were doing what I wanted to do, but I had a different take on it. And there are some things out there. There are some sort of gourmet gift options out there for people, but mine's a little bit different in that it's different every month, and I curate the selection of 5 or 6 items so that they work together every month. So it's kind of like you break it out and you can start eating and putting stuff together, like real simple. Like, I'll give you the olive oil, I'll give you the cannellini beans, and we'll give you some spices, and you mix to your taste, and then these kinds of things. It's very like 1, 2, 3, So there's no cooking. In other words, there's no pasta. There's
Right.
no pasta in this box, which is an area where we don't need any more of that. That's easy. People know how to do that, and there are other companies that can do that. So that's kind of an area that I have not. So no cooking. That's kind of the
Right, yeah. Pasta is really the most Americanized Italian food that there is, besides pizza.
Yep, that's true. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than a lot of people are familiar with. So it's not pizza. It's not pasta. It's stuff that's from Italy, and so that inherently it's a little bit exotic for some people, depending on their background. And I've had people say, well, what do I do with these olives? So you know what I mean? Like, it just depends on people's experience.
Right. Most American people don't know what real Italian food is. They just see the Italian food that is pasta and pizza and things of that sort.
Yeah, like maybe like a Buco di Pepe or whatever that place is called. You got some sort of generalized. I'm trying to think of that one.
The Olive Garden.
Olive Garden, these kinds of things, and so they might kind of tangentially hit some things, that I might play with in my business, but it's out of what I'm delivering to people is just it's a whole nother level.